Habermas was born in Detroit, Michigan in 1950. He was raised in a Christian home and attended a German Baptist church. Gary was an undergraduate from Tyndale College in graduating class of 1972 with 3 majors and 3 minors. Later, he went to a graduate school in the University of Detroit, in which he earned a Master's of Arts degree. 1 year later, Gary went to Michigan State University to pursue a PhD, graduating in 1976. For more than 10 years, Gary was uncertain about Christian claims and looked at other religious and non-religious systems, especially naturalism. His studies were mainly on investigating various world views. When Gary realized that some religions made claims that could be proven wrong, he began to have interest in the field of apologetics. Years of studies later, he concluded that few religious claims can be substantiated. When Gary conducted detailed studies of creation, fulfilled prophecy, archaeological discoveries, and general reliability of the Old and New Testaments, he constantly asked himself if there were many clinching arguments. His studies the notion that Eastern metaphysics were confirmed by modern physics and the claims made on behalf of other holy books. As a result, he came to a conclusion that religious beliefs could be held by faith, but they usually lacked great evidence and could not be proven true. Through Gary's search, it took the form of debating with non-Christian views as well as Christian views. Gary realized that if Jesus had been raised from the dead, it would go a long way towards arguing that Christianity was true. He also studied the founders of major religious traditions as well as other religious figures to see if other claims that someone was raised from the dead. He was always interested in if there were any historical evidence for these traditions. A few years later, he was hooked on the subject of Jesus' resurrection.
Did he appear to people in his resurrection? If these 2 statements are true, then we can prove that Christ really lived.
Well, first off, historians agree that there's plenty of evidence that Jesus was crucified, and Dr. Metherell demonstrated in an earlier chapter that Jesus couldn't possibly have survived the torture and pain that he felt during the execution.
So did Jesus really appear later? What evidence is there that people saw him?
Well, for evidence, all critical scholars questioned that Paul wrote 1 Corinthians, and we have him affirming in 2 places that he personally encountered the resurrected Christ.
In 1 Corinthians 15, Jesus appears to 500 people, and he's not mentioned anywhere else. How is this possible?
In regards to this creed, in this question, there are 3 main arguments. First of all, it's actually one of the earliest and best authentic passages. Second of all, there are most of the people that were referred to Jesus and Paul. Paul knew them very well, and he could also tell other people that they could go to those people and confirm them. And third, even though it's in the wrong source, that doesn't mean it's a bad source. You can't downgrade the source just because it's in the wrong source. And I think that's the main reason why critics argue against this creed. You see many contradictions in the Gospels. For instance, one saying that Jesus appeared to Peter first, while the other saying that Jesus appeared to Mary Magdalene. These don't contradict each other hard. Because if you look back to the time of the gospel, women were not considered very major players in the gospel. So even saying that Peter was appeared to at first by Jesus doesn't contradict anything. It doesn't take away the creed's comparison.
So, in the Gospel of Mark, there are no appearances of Jesus. Matthew has a few, Luke has more, and John has the most. Doesn't this show that Jesus was just a legend that slowly developed over time?
For some more reasons, no. First of all, scholars believe that Mark came first, right? Even if this argument is true, then it only proves that legends build over time. It does not change the fact that there are multiple eyewitnesses. And finally, the main problem is that 1 Corinthians 15 came before any of these Gospels and makes huge claims about the appearances of Jesus.
So why am I supposed to believe this?
So in regards to the resurrection, and throughout the Gospels, Jesus appears to many different people, such as Mary Magdalene or Emmaus and Cleopas. So they were confirmed in the Gospels. And the Acts of the Apostles talks a lot about this resurrection and the early appearances. The resurrection was the main proclamation of the church, because people were convinced that they saw Jesus. They didn't just believe it. No, they were convinced. I think that's the main reason why their lives and the church.
Oh.
This video was sponsored by Theology. Drinks. People ask about these two drinks. Which is better? Who knows? We'll find out next on Theology.
Survive